Here we go, it's the mad mistake here coming straight at you from my mother's loft. And today it's the final league match of the season preview, Southend versus Sunderland down at Roots Hall. Yes, Roots Hall. It's about 300 miles from the Stadium of Light to Roots Hall with about a 5-hour journey for those fantastic away travelling fans. I'm sure there'll be a few thousand going down there. I know a few who are getting the bus down on the Friday, staying overnight for a couple of nights, or come back on the Sunday. I hope they have a fantastic weekend down at Southend by the sea. Yes, Southend down by the sea, otherwise known as the Shrimpers, sometimes known as the Seasiders, or even the Blues. The capacity at their stadium of 12,392, and already this is going to be their biggest crowd of the season, with already 10,500 tickets sold. Kevin Bond is the manager of the South East Coast team, and at this moment in time, the one position. I predicted at the start of the season that Southend and Plymouth will both be relegated. At this moment in time, Southend are in 20th place, one position outside of the relegation zone with 47 points. Plymouth also on 47 points, but Southend have a minus of 14, where Plymouth have a minus of 25 goals. One more position below that is Walsall with 46 points, with a minus 22. And then the Scunthorpe with minus 29, also on 46 points. So it's really close. Really close at the bottom of the table. Southend really need a victory this weekend against Sunderland, because Plymouth are playing Scunthorpe. Now if Plymouth get a draw, they'll go above Southend and put Southend into the relegation zone. So Southend at worst need a point. If Plymouth draw against Scunthorpe this weekend, Scunthorpe get relegated. Southend desperately need a victory against Sunderland. If they pick up a draw, that might see them safe. But if Plymouth beat Scunthorpe, and Southend go back into the relegation zone. The 2 points behind Wimbledon. Wimbledon on 49 points. Wimbledon could still go down with a minus 21 goal difference. So it's important for Southend this weekend to get a victory. Like I said, if Plymouth beats Scunthorpe, Scunthorpe are relegated and Plymouth will be outside of the relegation zone. Also, Walsall have an away match against Shrewsbury. If Walsall win, then also they could put Southend back in the relegation zone. So it's all happening this weekend in the relegation zone. Plymouth versus Scunthorpe, Shrewsbury versus Walsall, and Southend versus Sunderland. Big matches to look out for. I feel that Southend are going to want it more than Sunderland at this moment in time. Southend's last 4 matches, they were beaten 1-0 away to Rochdale. They beat Burton 3-2 at home. They drew 1-2 to Walsall, and they got beat at home against Wigan. So it's a mixed bag of results for the Southend by the seaside. But Kevin Bond, can he muster up a victory against Sunderland? It's live on Sky at 5:30 on Saturday afternoon. And my prediction, I'm going for a 1-1 draw. I can see Sunderland, like usual, getting the early lead, but Southend coming back and getting a draw. Whether a draw is good enough to keep them out of the relegation zone, I don't know. Sunderland, on the other hand, they need a victory. Because if Portsmouth slip up, we could be playing either Doncaster or Peterborough. Now, a lot of people think Doncaster or Peterborough will be an easier match over 2 legs than it will be against Charlton. Another ex-Newcastle United player is the manager, Lee Bowyer. There's lots of scenarios that could happen. Portsmouth could lose, Charlton could draw, Sunderland could win. Sunderland will jump above Portsmouth, and they'll end up playing Doncaster, Peterborough, and Portsmouth will play Charlton. Sunderland could lose, Charlton could win, Portsmouth could get beat, then Sunderland will play Portsmouth. Portsmouth could win, Charlton could win, Sunderland could win, then Sunderland are going to play Charlton. The money's on Sunderland are going to play Charlton over 2 legs, but if Portsmouth slip up, Sunderland could do with 3 points, so they're playing either Doncaster or Peterborough. Like I said, I think there's more drive, ambition and wanting will and for the victory for Southend than Sunderland at this moment in time. But how much do Sunderland want a victory? We need a victory for the confidence, to be honest, after getting beat against Fleetwood. Especially with the playoffs coming up. It's going to be a really tough match down at Roots Hall. A really tough match. I hope we win. But the way we've been playing lately, and I think he's going to rest a few players. I would rest Will Grigg completely. I'd still rest McGeady. I'd give O'Nien a rest. I'd even rest Lee Cattermole. I ain't that fussed. I think we're going to play Charlton regardless. And to be honest, if we finish above Charlton, we'll be playing the away leg first. I think that's the way it works out. Personally, I'd rather play the home leg first. But I ain't the manager. So, there's lots of different scenarios that come out, lots of different results, lots of different permutations. But I'm going for a 1-1 draw anyway. I normally predict a victory for Sunderland, so I thought I'd go for a 1-1 draw, which means it'll probably be a victory for Sunderland. So come on, you know the table at this moment in time. Martin Krall, with 4 games to go, is top of the table. Here is the table at this moment in time. There we go. That's the top part of the table at this moment in time. But with 4 matches to go, 40 points up for grabs. I think nobody predicted a 2-1 victory for Fleetwood, and nobody got the correct goal scorer that was allowed to get the correct goal scorer. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going for a 1-1 draw. So come on, get your sports noggins, get them driving, get your brain going. Let's get the results, get your score predictions down on the comment section, and let's see who's the greatest sports noggin. Let's see who can get the correct score against Southend. Pick up 10 points and catch on to Martin Krall's tail and see if you can overtake him in the next few games. Plenty of points to play for, at least 40, and including 5 for first goal scorer if you have the correct score in the first place. I want to give one shout out to EFL Life on Instagram. Go look at his page, give him a like, give him a follow, or whatever you do on Instagram. I still believe that Sunderland can get promoted via the playoffs. You have to believe, you have to have the belief in your side to do good. You cannot go into a match thinking you're going to lose. I think this match at the weekend against Southend doesn't have really much importance for me. If we're the better side in the playoffs, we'll beat whoever we come. We've got to beat them all anyway. You know, we're going to play either Charlton or Portsmouth. I would think, for me, we're going to play Charlton, then Portsmouth. We're going to beat them, so the best team's going to win. May the best team win in the playoffs. We have to believe as Sunderland fans that Jack Ross can do it, can pull it out the hat. Get the players rested and up for the games in the playoffs. The playoffs are the most important. We have to get back to the Championship. Another season in League One. God, we have to do it this season. Surely we can get the playoffs done and win. I know there's lots of people out there who want Jack Ross out already. I'm not one of them. I think, pardon me, a young up-and-coming manager should be given the time. There's too many managers being changed in the past. You know, we'll see what he can do in the summer, whether we're in the Championship or not. But I'm hoping, I'm believing, I really think we can be promoted this season via the playoffs. We have to believe. Like I said before, you've got to believe in your team, in your manager. You've got to go into them playoffs believing you can get the win. Now, here's a scenario I would never, ever, ever think would happen. I would never, ever put these words in a sentence. These words in a sentence have never crossed my mind. But I want to give Joey Barton a big thank you. He tweeted my video on Twitter the other day and is getting me about 16,000 views, 30 subscribers and a little bit of cash to boot. So thank you, Joey Barton. Feels weird thanking Joey Barton, but he's promoted my video. Cheers, Joey. Joey Barton's a funny character. He's a horrible man. Let's face it. What he's done in the past is ridiculous. It's disgusting. It's violent. This violent man is idolised by some of our noisy neighbours up the road. Joey Barton is idolised by some of our noisy neighbours up the road for what he's done. This is what's happened. This is what he's done. This is why he's idolised. Now here's a few things this guy, Joey Barton, who is idolised by some of our noisy neighbours up the road, has done. In May 2008, common assault in the Liverpool town centre got 6 months sentence, did 72 days, then was released. In July of the same year, ABH, 4 months suspended by the club for attacking another teammate. In 2011, violent conduct by the FA was charged. And also there was the cigar incident, which he got away with, the club covered up. He's had 7 red cards by the age of 27, most of them for violent conduct, 78 yellow cards in his short career, and was kicked out of Rangers because he fell out with most of his teammates because he slagged them all off. Then just the other week, he allegedly attacked the Barnsley manager in the tunnel where the Barnsley manager needed some dentistry work. Joey Barton, the manager that just keeps on giving. Well, he shouldn't be let near the exit of a prison, never mind a football club. You know what it is? I don't hate Joey Barton because I don't hate many people. He just shouldn't be let near a football team. He's a horrible man. Leopards don't change their spots. Simple as. You don't change your ways. Ever since 2008, all the way up to 2018, 2019 now, violent conduct. You can't let a man in charge of a football team doing what he's done, allegedly, to the Barnsley manager and things in the past. In his post-match interview, he sounded good. He sounds the part. But he has a violent temper. And like I said before, he shouldn't be allowed to manage a football side. But that's just my opinion and nobody else's. Like I said, I don't hate him, but he's just a horrible man. And I'll catch you on Saturday. Don't forget to put your score predictions down. And can Sunderland do the business at Roots Hall? I hope they do for those away travelling fans. And one more thing. I hope at the end of the match, Jack Ross takes his team over to those away fans and gives them a round of applause because they deserve it. For the miles and miles and the money they've spent this season on Sunderland Football Club. I hope he walks over there with his team and gives them all a big round of applause. Like I said, they deserve it. The best away fans in the country. And I'll catch you later.